Hello gamers, wherever you may be, may your dice be blessed. In this video, we're going to talk about all things Game Master related, rules, why we designed them the way we did, and things that can help you for success as you run this game. The way we do that is by incorporating some rules and mechanics to really help the game progress. Things like failing forward and intent versus raw. What this means is that we think that the game should really be fun for everyone, right? Sounds like a no-brainer. Well, we want to progress the storyline and the adventures and the heroes, so there are mechanics in here like failing forward that even if the player character fails, they can still progress in the story or progress in the narrative how you see fit. It may not be a success, but it still progresses through. And intent versus raw is really important because we're talking about how the rules is written versus what's intended. What that means is that sometimes you become a custom rule that doesn't make sense, or you can find a loophole or exploit it. In role-playing games, it's almost impossible to cover everything unless you have a rule book of 1,000 pages, and we really don't want to do that. We want to make this simple and easy to learn. So when in doubt, always go with kind of what the intent is, like what sounds cool, what runs cool, and what kind of makes sense to you as a table and agreement that you have as a group, so you can move forward with the game. It's really encouraged that sometimes you may have to collaborate and come up with a ruling yourself. That's totally okay. We'd rather have rulings over rules if the rules means having 1,000 pages of things to memorize. We really don't want to do that. Gameplay and fun is always going to be the driving factor in this game. At the core of GEAS is the quest. It's not a big, giant, long campaign or this extended storyline, which it can be, but at the very beginning, everything's built around the quest. In this game, we have a really good streamlined guide on how to create quests, how to progress through them, a list of example quests you can choose from, and ideas and guides on how to build from that. Think of it like the video games where you have like a quest board, right? Or maybe an anime series where you go to the quest board, players pick and choose what they want to do, and they go forward. And from all of these quests, the greater campaign is what is grown from that. And the quest transitions to the campaign. And within this book, of course, we also have a lot of guidelines on how to create your adventure, how to create the campaign, whether it's urban, wilderness, or other environments that you may find yourself in. Throughout this book, there's also a lot of guides and hints and suggestions on really how to support and help new game masters, building the campaign, the adventure, how to build plots, hooks, etc. While experienced game masters know a lot of information already, I think there's still a lot of value for you as well in here. We can always learn, know better, and be better, right? And in this section, as you can see at the very top, there's a call out to a lot of experienced game masters who had a lot of great ideas. Sharing best practices is how we all be better and succeed as being game masters, and how to facilitate the fun for the table and groups of players that we have within our own teams. One of the other things that we really understand about players and gaming tables is everybody's different. Some folks like a lot of complexity, other folks want to move on with simple rules. And the way we design GEAS is to accommodate all playing styles. We also understand that for brand new players, throwing a whole rulebook at them is kind of intimidating and really doesn't help create an inclusive, welcoming environment for new players. So the way we design GEAS is to have levels of complexity and a modular system. As you've seen from the previous video, the dice pools, it's very basic, very simple, and that's where you kind of start from. Once you start learning that basic material, that basic level of how dice pools work from a fundamental level, you can then start bringing in other levels of complexity. You can roll your dice pools, compare the highest result. That's simple, that's easy. And then you start moving on to maybe the next level of complexity. Start using trade up or trade down. And then once you learn that, start applying different results for additional successes, and then go on to winding up rules and out of turn actions. Eventually, you're going to have this really robust system that offers a ton of flexibility for you for the level of complexity that you want to have. Suggested modules is a page we have dedicated specifically to that for your ease of reference. Just choose whatever modules you like, whichever ones you want to work for you. And that really creates a great example of how you can customize the game to play the way that you want to play it. We've also got some best practices for game master traps to avoid. These are lessons that I've learned myself over the last, 40 years or so, as well as feedback from a lot of other game masters out there. There's not too many to overwhelm you, but there's a lot of good rules and advice here to follow. The biggest one is expecting perfection, right? Really don't be too hard on yourself. We're all learning, we're all going to be better. Also included is a really brief overview of the realm of GEAS. You got some great illustration here by Rick Hershey. I absolutely love this illustration. But what you've got, the way GEAS works, is it's not just a predefined realm, it's a lot of different things as far as the planes, but they're left open for you. One of the driving things about this game is that fan creation, content creation, that's really, really important. You know, back in the early days, we created a lot of our own stuff. There just wasn't all that much other material accessible. You know, we may have lived in a rural area. There was no internet, so you came up with all you decided on your own. And I really am a firm believer that some of the fan creations is the best creations. So the way the GEAS world works, the GEAS realm, is you've got the framework, you've got the planes of existence and everything, but you create within that world what you want, how you want it, what's included in that one, because everything's driven by this power of belief. And that's what the GEAS core system is driven on as far as a role-playing perspective, a world-building perspective. If enough beings believe in something, it actually manifests into something real. Now, a lot of, you know, stories and literature and even our own religions, you've got like a deity or deities, and they create these things and people believe in them. Well, it's kind of backwards with the GEAS. If enough people believe in something, then that gives power to the deity or the planar being or the alien force, whatever you want to call it, however you want to use it. It's all based upon this power of belief that creates things. So you have the ability in your own worlds, in your own campaigns, to shape the world, how you see fit, how you want to use it, and how you create it. And even some fan submissions just might make it on the website to say, hey, this is a great world that so-and-so created. GEAS is going to be released in an SRD format, so you absolutely have the ability within the Creative Commons license we're using to create your own material, put it on the website, sell it yourself, make it yourself, and celebrate those fan creators, because homebrew is where it all came from and where all of our creativity lies, rather than have everything within the game just relegated to a small room of the tiny 5 or 6 creators to create everything for you. And then we've got a very robust dependency system in the back of the player's book. Not only common tables and charts that you may reference, but there's also several pages of quick reference guides and hints and tips that really help you as a game master and player proceed within the game. And now we've got the monster book, called Beast and Baubles, this separate book. It contains all the monsters and a lot of magical items or effects you can have within the game. At the beginning, we've got, again, more guides to help you customize your monsters, how to turn any creature into a boss creature instead of just regular minion or mook. We've also got ways that monsters can be used creatively, and we've also got mutations and societies and cultures and how you can really customize your monsters to really flesh them out, make them more than just bags of hit points or mindless creatures wandering the plains that have no culture or no motivations of their own. The stat blocks are built and designed to be really easily read, referenced, finding the information that you need right away. Not a lot of clutter here. Again, keep it simple, keep the important things there. They also include adventure hooks to spark your imagination and how to incorporate them. The magic item section also has a crafting section chapter where you can have ingredients and how you want to combine them and recipes and creating your own magic and wonderful items. And then, of course, the monster book also has appendices of its own, sorted by the monster difficulty, and as well as like what biome they live in, what region that will help you how to place them. They're also sorted by which ones are edible or not. There's a pretty popular manga and anime going around about hating monsters. Well, this is in here as well. Which monsters are tasty, which ones are helpful, and some recipes you can use. And then, of course, we have common NPCs at the back. Need to find out a bandit or a cultist? Well, flip to the back, stat box right there for easy use. And within these stat box and cultures, we also have guides for you, like tables on how bandits are created. So I want to thank you for listening to this video, and I want to thank you very much for your support and everything you've done for us.